forgot my drink.
Oh.
It's important. So if you haven't done your drink, get one. You can have tea or you can have wine. We usually make a toast before we start. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. I always enjoy this once a month poetry reading, and especially listening to the features and also the open mic. I'm Clara Sue. I'm the Executive Director of Clarion Performing Arts Center. So we've been here for a while. I've been here for 43 years. I can't believe it. It's a lifetime. So hope to keep going for a few more years.
Is it Clarion Performance Center or in Chinatown?
I've been in Chinatown for 43 years, but Clarion has gone through many different reincarnation of, different lives. And so at the moment, it is a performing arts center. Last night we had a burlesque show, and then tonight we have another burlesque show. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. We're doing different things. We're also trying to bring world music series back to the center. I hosted one for 7 years, and then then we don't have anything right now, but I'd like to bring that back. Anyway, I would like to start out with a poem. This is an excerpt from a longer poem titled "The First to Escape." And the reason I picked this poem was because of a reaction to what is happening to our country right now. This poem titled Headliner, Kim Mong Denied Arlington Burial. This happened February 4th, 2011. Vang Pao was a general, and he actually helped the CIA during the Vietnam War. And he's a Hmong, and when he died, they would not let him buried in Arlington. So, headliner, Kim Mong denied Arlington burial, February 4, 2011. Vang Pao, it is better that you remain in Fresno, where your people love you, where the streets are filled with the aroma of grilled sausages and rice, where young girls wear platform shoes and young men tie checkered cotton sashes over their peasant pants, where women in cross-ribbed headdresses and kimono-like skirts dance, and men gong in the afternoons to drive out bad spirits. It is better that you remain in Fresno, where your people may visit you often and bring flowers and wine, where they may call out your name, and you may hear them loud and clear and soothe their sorrow in their dreams. You have fought a lot of wars, but the battles are still raging. Isolation of the old, fury of the young, living in a land that ignores their privation. It is better that you remain in Fresno. The little headstones in Arlington will whitewash you. Some may think heroes should all be buried together, but a hero belongs to the people who find him meaningful in the scorching heat, in the biting cold, in the dusty flatland in California's Central Valley. Thank you. Do a toast to poetry and poetry in Chinatown. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, give the mic back to Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Hey.
Woo!
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Third Saturday Poetry in Chinatown. This afternoon our wonderful features will be Sarah Menefee, who's in the house, and Alejandro Murguía, who is on his way and should be here shortly. The traffic is pretty bad out there. There's the parade going on Market Street, so Market Street's closed, and there's construction in Chinatown, so hopefully more people will make their way here. But in any event, we have a wonderful group here right now. Some very, very beautiful faces here. So I'm eager to hear you all share your wonderful words. Just a few things. Phones, just check your phone, make sure that it's on mute or vibrate or whatever. And also, when you're done reading, you'll be able to get a complimentary pen. Everybody gets a pen. So once you're done, just stop over and just pick one that you like. And we're going to do a few open mics, and then we'll have our first feature, and then a few more open mics, and then our second feature, who is on his way. So, that being said, I think we're going to start off with the amazing Rob. And after Rob, we'll have Lisbeth and Esther. So, Rob, please take the stage.
Thank you, Greg. All right, I got the two short ones for you. You don't have to know the history of Mississippi to appreciate this song. You just have to know the history of America. This is a new song. This is called Mississippi Freeway. Medgar's knocking on the door. Been gone so long. Set the table. We're gonna sing a song on the Mississippi Freeway. Mississippi Mississippi Freeway, coming home to me. Fanny's limping home, but she's standing proud. Her voice is ringing so clear and loud on the Mississippi Freeway. Mississippi Mississippi Freeway, coming home to me. Leontine and Ida laughing in the den. Happy days here again. Freeways coming from sea to shining sea. Freeways for you and me. Richard's coming home. Been in Mexico and France. Everybody gather around. We're gonna sing and dance on the Mississippi Freeway. Mississippi Mississippi Freeway, coming home to me. Coming home. Coming home. Thank you. So who here in this room is old enough to remember National Brotherhood Week. It was born in the 60s and survived until the 70s in a very optimistic time. Tom Lehrer, he created a brilliant satire. In 2022, Tom Lehrer finished the project of releasing all his songs into the public domain. So every song that Tom ever wrote is now free for anyone to do anywhere. And in honor of that, Music City Studios is going to be having a Tom Lehrer review on April 9th. And this is the song that I am going to be performing. This is called National Brotherhood Week. Dancing cheek to cheek, it's fun to memorialize people you despise as long as you don't let them in the schools. Oh, the poor folk hate the rich folk, and the rich folk hate the poor folk. All of my folk hate all of your folk. It's American as apple pie, but during National Brotherhood Week and National Brotherhood Week, New Yorkers love the Puerto Ricans because it's very chic. It's fun to stand up and shake the hand of somebody you can't stand. You can tolerate them if you try. Oh, the Protestants hate the Catholics, and the Catholics hate the Protestants, and the Hindus hate the Muslims, and everybody hates the Jews. But during National Brotherhood Week, National Brotherhood Week, National Everyone Smile at One Anotherhood Week, it's be nice to the people who are inferior to you. It's only for a week, so have no fear. Be grateful that it doesn't last all year. Hey. Oh, and also another plug. If you enjoyed that, I'm doing a showcase at the Chit Chat Cafe in Pacifica on Sunday at 4. Beautiful little cafe looking out over the ocean. Come out to the Chit Chat. Thank you.
That's tomorrow?
That is, yes, tomorrow.
Rob,
Whee!
get your pen.
Are these cage free?
They are cage-free. Lisbeth's up next, and then Esther's after. Lisbeth,
How's that? All right.
oh, by the way, Lisbeth will be featured in the month of April. Along with Antoinette Payne.
I think of Cuba. I think of Cuba, a different standard of living, equal in needs met, shelter, food, work, education, healthcare. Appearances can be deceiving. I don't know her people, but I have to think. I want to believe. In the absence of things and stuff and detritus, that the bonds of community join the people in a way that we here in America are too poor to know or accept as fact. Because I want the people of Cuba, with their great love gone, to still find it, like it was there all along, like America with its great dream gone. We can still find it, redefine it. It's never too late, except maybe for capitalism. So this one's called Solve for X. And kind of about algebra, the science of restoring what is missing and equating like with like, or the reunion of broken parts. Solve for X. Becoming greater than the sum of our parts rarely happens. less than, greater than, equal to, solve for X. Venture nothing, still, again, moving from one side of the equation to the other, all things being equal, past, present, future. It is not possible to reunite what is not already there, all beings equal. These are just expressions. They just are. They're not personal. Bring your intellect. No. Anger, frustration, ill, logic does not resolve. Parenthetical variables. Add grandparents, multiple births, divide by death, divorce, depression, subtract time spent, mode of travel. Expressions as letters spell out exactly a zero sum. It must be true. Solve for me, solve for you. Delayed by weather. What do you think? When will the thaw arrive? Words come so slowly. Icicles melt a drop at a time. Sap will rise with the warmth. I'm trying to write well, without enough practice. Trees still bloom, even during drought. Are these thoughts the essence of my heart? Nature flows alone, but she's certain still. Write, revise, and rewrite until my meaning is crystal. Hail finally lands after repeated falling and rising. Wanting the sun's heat to warm me through as the chilling wind gusts a little harder from the north. Seasonal imperfection. Time is a poor barometer. Everything changes. The forecast predicts it. Daily, my questions rise, only to bring me down. Does confidence matter? The sun comes up again. When will I write again? Eclipsed by my chagrin, I'll just wait it out, delayed by weather. Next one. This is for Kenneth Rexroth. Direct voice. Have you ever noticed the moon begins in darkness and ends in full brightness? Same with people. We start in darkness. How many of us reach full brightness? Darkness contains everything. Imagine shape-shifting shadows. Claim elements of yourself from the shade. As facets of light filter down to you, feel this reconciliation. Live differently. The future relies on the past and the present. New darkness, dark newness, full light, light full. Thank you.
And Esther is up next, and then Yolanda.
Hello. Hi. So I just have one poem today. It's very short. It's called Goodbye, Sylvia. If only we could, no, let's try that again. If only you could rest in peace, Sylvia, but we the living won't let you. Your life, and especially your death, are known to all. The volume's still being written. You still make the bestseller list. The bell jar has never been out of print. The poems in Ariel hit us every time. Who can read Daddy without a cringe, a shiver? How dare you use such language? How dare it be so true? We ask you, beg you for more. We cry out If only we had been there instead of that hateful husband, that distant mother, that absent lover. We would have never left you alone, holding you through every dark thought, every violent impulse. Because only we know, as women, the terrible consequences otherwise. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Gee, I never use those. Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, Yolanda's up next. I think we'll have first of our two features afterwards.
One, my scarred carcass of a body was born innocent at 3 a.m. in pitch black of the infinite night outside the hospital. 2, when I was in high school in 1965 on TV, I watched black African Americans rioting, burning buildings in the night, in the evening news on TV. I remember in middle school after classroom lesson on American mission into outer space. I remember sitting in my desk thinking that I would give up my life to go to what was put in my mind was pitch black, infinite outer space. 3, I remember seeing a young black classmate slumped on his desk on another occasion. Like whatever his life becomes, just dumped on his desk, just slumped on his desk in elementary school. 4, the high school social studies class about how the Civil War was fought to prevent the Union to not separate the country or of America. 5, I see African American young, fashion dressed, what pressed hair like in the 1960s females ignore my leaflets at 24th and Mission. I see young, old, some with canes, African American homeless men asking for $1 for change. Some I see laying on a carton on same Mission streets in daytime. Capitalism has robbed them of a future, has labeled them a menace to public safety. Shows that on TV, shown on TV as the thieves that would ropes as slaves, kidnapped from Africa, lynched with fire, alive, their children beating up guards while they were working as security guards, or were attacked for supposedly shoplifting. Neely Jordan was choked to death by an ex-Marine who was found not guilty for killing a black African-American artist whose crime was he was hungry. Daniel Penny, the name, the Marine, has since been honored by the Marines for killing Neely Jordan because black Neely was aggressive towards a white woman's infant son. Daniel Penny has since been hired by a Tech Farm in the Bay Area. 6, public safety, clean streets are a cover-up for raw, naked, putrid, anti-black, anti-poor, pro-fascism and capitalist corporate America under the false narrative it's for the public good. 7, how can we combat that putrid brainwashing by calling out for what it is, 1% upper class privilege? My other one is when I went to Oakland the other day. I wrote this poem afterwards. I went to visit some friends of mine who were still holding it after wood was evicted. The Blue Lodge plastic covering makeshift tent, one of many a few remaining holdouts who apply for Section 8, yet the lottery number doesn't get picked. In the background, better than what I have been through. Those that have pets, dogs, cats, many not willing to give up their pets, and since they have no health issues, they can't register them to whether cats or dogs without subsidized housing. Read an article on internet about hardworking single elderly woman who was laid out, got housing, lost the housing, wouldn't give up her dog. The poor elderly woman died in the streets. What kind of country people are we that we don't dwell at such, that we don't complain at such deathly fates? Yes, I get scared to say, let's go, not just in a rally protest, but even on a building. And the laws won't change, because the laws protect capitalist private property. Ever since District Attorney Brooke Jenkins made taking over a bridge a felony because changes in charging them with kidnapping instead of a misdemeanor, you can bet your bottom dollar that the law of America will get even harsher. Yes, Donald Trump is a fascist jerk, just same as Newsom, who last month declared the $35 million for legal hearings for immigrants don't apply to criminals. And a Chinese progressive lawmakers, one of the Chinese progressive lawmakers exclaimed they have a right to a hearing. Same as Clinton, who in 1995 signed legalization that deports undocumented immigrants who have broken the law. One of the laws being coming to this country, attempting to come to us without legal papers, which now they want to enforce. You will not be President Gavin Newsom saying you will not be President Gavin Newsom. You build your political career on anti-homeless propositions. First they came for the homeless, and the homeless rose up.
Thank you. Okay. There's a sign-up sheet somewhere around for anybody who'd like to sign up. Oh, there's some people. Is anyone who might? All right, I think we'll have our welcome first of our two features. San Francisco poet Sarah Menefee is originally from Reno, Nevada. She's a homeless rights activist and a founding member of such groups as Homes Not Jails, the League of Revolutionaries for a New America, and first they came for the homeless, in addition to Revolutionary Poets Brigade. Her previous collections of poetry include I'm Not Thousand Furs, The Blood About the Heart, Human Heart, In Your Fish Helmet, Cement, and Holy Eel, which is on Lithic Press and was published in 2024. And she's got tons of chapbooks also. She's worked in hospitals, casinos, bars, daycare centers, offices, and bookstores, and as an artist model. She's taught poetry in homeless shelters, halfway houses, and at Occupy. Now retired, she's a full-time gadfly and sitter in cafes. Please welcome Sarah Menefee.
Thank you all for the good warm-up, helped me wake up. I love this venue, I love this space, I love this reading. I look forward every third Saturday to the Clarion reading. I'm very happy to be featured today. So I was going to read a poem that just came out in the latest People's Tribune, but just come and get a copy from me. It's for Jordan Neely. Let me see. One of the mini chapbooks. A little close to that lamp. Okay, here we go. If I go on too long, please just strike the gong. These are short, but there's lots of them. Okay. I won't do titles. Moon on till the moon comes up and then goes down again. If we could tremble here, waiting for the fall down into the shimmering unknown. Lost half a block down my block, I orient myself to your passing rags. You get old and just want to eat something that tastes good to me, as the panhandler said out here long ago in the wind. Last night they were hacking off human limbs and sewing them on again. I don't know why. I was watching horrified, or was I helping them? Wrapping his foot in shredded paper. The sun's a blessing, only around here. Wake up to reports of atrocities, their doings out in the streets as banquets of flies, the buzz of their amorous wings. A naked cry from naked eye to naked eye. Sidewalks sparkle far away from genocide. Army combat veteran and canine friend just need a little, etc. The door of russet light opens into another fall, and I fall through it again. Inscribe a lesser-known Aesop's fable on a rock to hold down my restless breast. If I'm gone and you're still around, because I'm really love, my love. A bearded madman declaiming in Arabic, translating for all who pass his wall, the tropes of the sun. The rivers that ran through your childhood and youth were particular, each one. You flew above the desert one, buoyed by its energy under your breast, an ecstatic flow through all discussion, an ecstatic flow through all destruction. How did our conversation get around to eels? Because we talk about everything, my old friend and I. You were so young, and I went so mad. Did I want a son? We both believed the catfish stories you were married to then. A black turban and long white beard go by through the blustery rain. Strip yourself down for the live wet wind, the tightest embrace, the one of goodbye. And the rain began again. Lost, lost, lost in this city, lost in the world. I found this cafe and sat myself down a spell, down from the wild-eyed man. I go nuts every decade or so, lasting from 8 to 10 years. Why aren't I Giacometti, I wonder? Are we all connected by our admirations as dark times go by? Falling down drunk, a broken heart, of longing for you I couldn't have, all that tangled time, blooming in time as a winter rose. And there's more. Okay. A few recent ones. I guess I'm getting through this pretty fast. They're short. He dreamed of the trapped chicken he sprung from the dark house that ran and ran, all pain and abuse at his back, fell and got up and ran from the shades, and I hear the cries of their innocent clucks, chicken run, set free by Khalif, my friend. I saw a lost beloved at the top of the hill. I climbed up to see, reading his poems to a dreaming crowd. But where's the silk of his gentle hand? There was a smile up there at the top. It was your smile. Was it the ruby mountain I once climbed up and up? Each step unbearable ecstasy. Was that you at its top? That's for Jack. This is for Keenan. Sorry, so much congestion. Every empty corner still feels the breeze. Your fingers stirred up, they battered my heart. The wind blows this way, except the ones that come off the hot, lost desert. The days and nights you forget right away, except for the lemon on your tongue and your long limbs. This was a poem that I had recently on a visit to very cold and icy Buffalo. My sister was, it was kind of beautiful. Real winter. My sister was at the end of life. I went there with my nephew. I had this dream while I was there. I was broke, but I needed coffee. When I reached the cafe, there was just enough dollar bills somehow in my purse to get one. And it happened again in the next cafe I went to. If only it didn't work that way. It was all so vivid. 2 women were sharing the baby that was one of theirs. She came and sat in the seat beside me, dressed in magenta. What does it mean to have a sister? The rose hips of true winter, tiny drops of blood drawn by icy thorns. A boy with a nice big nose came in, and I forgot my pain. These are all just recent little things. Smiles all around as the kid puts a buck in a violin case here in the warm underground at Powell Station. People are paying attention to the moon. You've got to do your stint as a beggar before eternity blinks out. After that moment of hope, the lotto ticket got tossed into the trash. And these are just some little notes for my sister Anne. She was a singer for many years. She sang with the Buffalo Philharmonic Chorus as a soprano. She was singing the Requiem, My Lifelong Sister, and I was weeping. The rest is silence, which is full of human singing. Her last clear soprano song escapes her form, joining the others she ever sang. And here's a little picture from earlier today. Traveler with black suitcase and mint green comforter, seeking a safe corner. Thank you.
Dear Sarah. Dear Sarah.
Oh, good. Somebody want to write again. Oh, sure, that's it. Oh my God, look at the gold. Oh, let's let it go.
Right.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Another hand for Sarah Menefee. All right. Let's see who we got next. Okay. Next few readers will be Barbara, Gavin, and Christina, and Rocio. So, Barbara Ashby. Barbara here?
Yep, I'm here. I'm just getting my.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. That's okay.
Greg, I can't decide whether you look like an art fixture or a PBS host.
Oh, no.
Okay, I have a tiny poem by a French poet and
Read it slowly.
Francis Combe, and it's just very appropriate. He sent this recently, and it's just so appropriate for our times. L'océan. Tous les ruisseaux du monde finissent par rejoindre la mer. Peut-être dans l'avenir, existe-t-il un océan commun où parallèlement tous les ruisseaux humains pourront se réunir? The ocean. All the streams in the world end by meeting up with the sea. Perhaps, in the future, there will be an ocean for all, where, in the same way, all the human streams will be able to reunite with each other.
All right. Gavin. Gavin is up next, and then Christina.
Hi everybody, I have two pieces to share. So my first piece is called Borderless Dreams. I dream of a world without borders, where freedom flows as wide as the endless ocean, where barbed wires are nothing but whispers that fade away. And no one's life is dictated by lines in the ground. I dream of a world where every child with hunger no more can dream, can play, can grow in safety. Their minds nourished, their bellies full, and their lives surrounded by love and stability. I dream of a world where power no longer thrives on suffering, where the privileged, once blind to the cost, are compelled to see the wreckage that they have made. Wars for profit and the earth strangled for greed. I dream of a world where the borders are erased, not built, and the walls crumble beneath the cries of the oppressed and wretched. I dream of a world where no nation profits of the blood and bones of others, and compassion and empathy are the only wealth we hold. I dream of a world where the future is shared, where justice is not just a pipe dream but a right, where the air is clean, the water is pure, and everyone is free, united, and reborn in peace. I dream, I dream, I dream. My second piece is called The Land Members. I feel everything, I hear everything. Yet, I do not speak, I do not raise an eyelid. I have watched rivers run clear and then watched them choke on waste. I have seen proud trees stretch to the sky and then felt them torn out. Roots ripped apart one by one. I have breathed in air so fresh and pure and then choked on the poison that crept in unnoticed. Yet I never screamed, I never howled. But earlier, this was not the case. There was laughter, prayers, rhythm of feet that once walked gently, taking only what they needed and leaving no scars. And then they came, with their greedy weapons, greedy faces, greedy hands, and greedy intentions, claiming what was never theirs. They carved their names into my skin, staked their flags, claimed me in deeds and paper, as if ink could make me theirs, as if borders could bind the wind, as if the dams could tame my waters, as if the walls could cage the sky, as if ownership was anything but a lie. Now, only harrowing silence remains. The songs are gone, the prayers have turned to dust. They think I belong to them. I belong to no one but myself. Heed my warning. Their walls will crumble, their roads will fade, their towers will sink into the earth, and all their selfish words, their selfish codes, their selfish laws, all will turn to dust, forgotten like names carved in the sand. I remember the first step ever taken on me, and I will remember the last. And when they are gone, I will breathe again. Not in silence, but with manic laughter. My winds will howl their forgotten names, my rivers will rise to reclaim their roads, and the roots that they uprooted without mercy will finally reclaim what was lost. Thank you.
Christina up next, and Rocio.
Hello, welcome. I'd like to begin by thanking you all for being here and by thanking Greg and Clara for making this possible. I'm going to read one piece for these troubled times. We love the sea. Ocean Beach. Water, salt water, is the stuff of our bodies, the foundation of all life on the planet, the engine of the air, our atmosphere and weather. We love the sea. We love to swim and float and sail and surf and dive. But we dare not dive too deep or swim out too far. We cannot breathe water, cannot drink the sea. We're safer on the beach or the top of a mountain looking down at the sparkling waves. To go out to sea without a boat is to invite death. This sunny afternoon at Ocean Beach, sailboarders and surfers skitter across the wide water. We play with the forces of the sea and the wind, but the rip currents flow fast, sweep someone away almost every year. Unknowing waders in 1 foot of water, and experienced surfers who knew all the breaks are pulled away out to sea, are only sometimes rescued or set free. The ocean and the sea can be like love, any kind of love. You don't know how dangerous it is until you're in too deep to easily withdraw. The ocean, the sea, can be like love in the best way too. It can bear you up above and beyond all expectation, lift you into the sun and air, allow you to breathe and to feel free to be yourself. Or, like love, the sea can smash you down to the lowest depths, never let you be seen again, grind your corpse for fish food. How any voyage goes depends on accurate information, good judgment, and luck. We do not want to be like Shelley and sail into a storm, end up drowned. But sometimes we must fly into the tempest. To wait is to be smashed to pieces in port, never to take off again. So, grab your flotation device, your giant pink plastic flamingo, or whatever form your confidence or courage or spirit takes, and leap into the sea of love and life. But take care. The surf's always up, and rip currents hide everywhere.
Okay, Rocio, and then we'll have our other features.
These poems are copyrighted. I published them in, they've been published in Essential Truths, Bay Area and Color. And I wrote them. It says, you and I are soldiers. You and I are soldiers, my brother Herbert said to me as we survive our childhoods. Thunderous storms, lightning of shock and pain, winter of heavy rains, our mother's death and the sound of falling rain, etched forever in our sister Lisa's memory. In a playroom, Herbert joyfully wrote it, the apple rocking horse, while I placed topaz pearls gleaming from earrings our mother purchased at a thrift shop, and to white seashells, translucent light opaque gems, my child's eyes momentarily saw as real. I remember Herbie and I Christmas shopping at JCPenney's. Herbie thoughtfully buying an elegant bottle of Chanel No. 19 for our mother Inez. Pulse points scented with poignant perfume. I remember Herbie and I missing our school bus on purpose. Herbie and I happily walking back into our yellow clapboard house to stay home with our mother on the rare occasion when she stayed home from work. On a rainy morning, our mother drowned on a flooded road while driving her Honda Civic to work. Our mother planted flowers for us to remember her. In the spring, tiny tangerine roses bloomed to my delight. Delicate pink roses bloomed for Louisa. I remember Herbie walking across a field, carrying our mother's tall yellow sunflowers. Thank you. And that poem was in memory of my beloved brother Herbert, who died during COVID-19. Always loved, never forgotten. And this next poem is called She Planted Roses. In subtlety of rain, will I find beauty kneeling at the edge of my mother's grave? Will I find peace in her memory? As I lay down bouquets of crimson roses, will I lay down to rest fears that I too will die, will vanish without a trace, disappear on a cold rainy day where no one will ever find me, find my body as I sink deeper into an empty, death-like space. As I gaze into a round mirror of my past, I see my beautiful mother wearing her gold Virgin of Guadalupe necklace. I never understood back then the time we would have together would be fleeting. I see defiance in a young girl's eyes for the mother who would soon leave her behind to journey onward with angels. Memories cut short, machete cutting down sugarcane. We're sleeping on a bus, winding its way up from Mexico City. Our mother Inez and little brother Herbie sip Coca-Cola from glass bottles given to them by our bus driver. Herbie stares out at the bus window at a Carlos Castaneda desert. Our bus stops by a church. We kneel down to pray to the Virgin of Guadalupe. Our grandmother Adela prays for the Virgin to bless us with safe passage into our new country. In a dream, the Virgin floats among gravestones in mist, her aura glowing sherry and gold. She is here, my mother, never having really died. I was mistaken as a young girl when I felt she had abandoned me. I despaired there was no one left to guide me. She has been waiting patiently all these years for me to understand. She has been ever there for me, waiting for me to build my bridge back to her. Bless our journey together. Thank you. And I'll have chocolates or things to sell if anyone's interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And now it's time to welcome the second of our afternoon's features. Alejandro Murguía is the author of This War Called Love, 9 Stories, City Lights Books winner of the American Book Award. In nonfiction, he has published The Medicine of Memory, a Mexican clan in California, through University of Texas Press. He's a founding member and first director of the Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts. In 2013, City Lights Books published his new book, Stray Poems. His collection of short stories, The Other Barrio, New and Selected Stories, will be released this fall by Arte Público Press. He was the 6th San Francisco Poet Laureate and first Latino to hold that post. Please welcome Alejandro Murguía.
Thank you, Greg, for such a generous introduction. But you left out that I also make really good breakfast burritos. Next time. All right. All right. And thank all of you for showing up on a blustery March day when I know you could be hanging out at the beach or doing something more interesting. And I apologize for arriving a little bit late, but I felt like I was being tracked by the CIA, the FBI, ICE, NSA, the SFPD, and a couple of other. So I kind of had to take this route to get here. And so I was thinking on my way over here how things seem to be so upside down nowadays, right? For instance, a poet gets chased across town while a convicted felon gets to run the country, right? And after all his attacks on immigrants, he gets an immigrant to tear down the government. Yes. So it seems to me that the great Uruguayan writer Eduardo Galeano was right when he said that we seem to be living in a Alice in Wonderland world, in an upside down world, el mundo al revés. It's a strange world we're living here, where fat buzzards perch on trees while good food lies on the ground, and all around, children in their bare feet. Seems like it's a strange world we're living here. There's some hard knocks on this block where everywhere you look, there's heavily armed cops and a body or two, like Sean Monterosa or Breonna Taylor, that never had a chance to scream. Stop. There's some hard knocks on my block. Es el mundo al revés, donde van corriendo los peces y los pajaritos nadan y los gatos pardos ladran, pues es el mundo al revés. There's a strange scene on this street where you're taught to lie and cheat, but in the end, it doesn't matter who you are. You're just another piece of meat, because it's a strange scene on Valencia Street. Yes, it's a rotten world they're selling here, where no one looks you in the eye, and the budget goes for hate and war and fear. So the best thing is not to buy anything, because it's a corrupt, rotten world they're selling here. Es el mundo al revés, donde van corriendo los peces y los pajaritos nadan y los gatos pardos ladran, pues así es en el pinche mundo al revés. You can save your applause for the end of my set, and then you can just throw money. And I want to thank Greg and everybody here at Clarion Center for taking a chance to invite me. Yeah. And it's actually the first time I've been in the center, so I'm very pleased to be here. So I'm going to share a little bit of some new work that I've been working on. Let's see how it goes. The politicians. Over 48,000 dead, 90,000 permanently maimed, pregnant woman blown apart with missiles, babies burned alive, babies starved to death, over 600 extrajudicial executions, schools, hospitals, churches, mosques bombed, while our politicians perform before the cameras, smiling with their makeup so they look human, and gloat before their press agents and billionaire donors, and deliver rehearsed speeches to canned applause, while the slaughter goes live on television and the blood flows through the olive orchards like a dagger in the heart of a dove. So I've been working on putting together a program called Abrazos, which would be a combination of songs and poems of love and resistance. Here's word associations. So I start with one word, and then I let that word kind of flow into wherever it takes me. Pinche payaso patético por ser paranoico, booster la pissy more poison, pus in train loads, pussy, pussy, pissy, poop. Trompeta, trompuda, tripping on, tricolor smeared with lies, trampoline, termites, transpolitical, trauma, trapped, transmix, tramps in brick tower, tramps tramping onward, tramps and more tramps, Trump. Baba baboso, buffoon, bastardo de una burra, bacín para orines de los muertos, bufo y bruto, buzón de mierda, basura, bicho, buey, bibi. The bright horizon. Tomorrow, when the sun rises, I will come searching for you. And wherever you hide, I will find you. And you will be cornered like a rat. And you'll know fear in your anus. And your tongue, like your sex, will shrivel. And beetles enter by your ear and eat your optic nerve that will turn you blind as you were in life. But before that, I shall have my vengeance and write this poem in the bright light of this beautiful day. Tomorrow, when the sun peaks just above the horizon, watch for me. Now, you know, on my way over here, I'm coming from the south side of the city, right? And I'm coming through neighborhoods filled with homeless people and tents and potholes that could swallow your car, right? Worse than the streets of Tegucigalpa. And then, when I finally crossed over Market Street, the streets were all paved. The streets were manicured. And that's when I knew. Those would be donations for the center. And that's when I knew I was living in Silicon City. Well, they evicted Mia from her storefront on Valencia. Then they burned down the apartments on 22nd Street. The good die young, and isn't it a pity? But the beat goes on in Silicon City. You're a stranger now in your hometown, with strange faces on once familiar streets, and strange shadows at 4 o'clock, and cops, strangers on a strange beat. And the days and nights are mostly gritty, but hey, it's okay. You're hanging in Silicon City. So I've been told that everything that rises must fall, and that the wicked shall be denied. But nowadays, you don't know who to trust. And watch out, you don't get run over by a Google bus. Yeah, it bees that way, all down and dirty, in the heartless heart of Silicon City. Now, everybody knows the center cannot hold, but prophecy is cheap, and politicians are sneaky. So, baby, get your high heel sneakers and your black beret on, because tonight we fight the power in Silicon City. Y entonces lo que pasa a veces conmigo, como unas veces poemas, right? A veces es que el poema me sale en español y a veces el poema me viene en inglés y a veces el poema me viene bilingüe en los dos idiomas, ¿verdad? Pero aparte de en qué lengua me viene el poema, yo nunca sé de dónde viene. Como que es un misterio que me cae del cielo. Y me gusta que haya un poco de misterio en el arte y la poesía. And for those of you that are linguistically challenged, what I said was, I hope the Warriors have a good run to the playoffs. Only takes longer to say it in Spanish. So I want to thank you again for showing up, and Greg and everybody for hosting this beautiful reading and for hosting me. I'm going to close my set with this poem that I actually wrote about a little over 8 years ago during the initial inauguration of the felon. He wasn't a convicted felon then, but he would later be convicted. It's amazing, you notice that the media, whenever they refer to him during the campaign, and even now, they never say so-and-so running for president and convicted felon. It's like, they leave out the important part of the story. But also, I want to read this because there's two things about poetry that I think make it powerful. One of them is, in a way, the task of the poets and part of the power that we have is to ridicule the powerful. Yeah? And the other thing about poetry is that it is also prophecy. Yeah? Because poets, the good poets are also prophets. Yeah? So I wrote this poem and I read it, like I said, 8 years ago, but it seems to still apply today. You will know the devil when you meet him.
Yeah, you will.
When the devil arrives, he won't be sporting a pointy beard or a pitchfork. Hell no. He will dress in a fancy suit, lathered in expensive cologne, to hide the stink of sulfur. And he will reside in a high tower, surrounded with gold, which at night he will turn into dog shit on your sidewalk. You will never see him at church or place of worship, a shrine, an altar, because his orange hair would explode
revealing his horns. He will never show his birth certificate because they don't hand those out in the 9th level of hell. You will know him by his destruction of God's creation. He will pollute the air and poison the water, annihilate bees and butterflies, unleash tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, and call it a hoax. And his followers, this was the most prophetic line of this poem, to prove their loyalty, will eat maggots in his presence. Remember this when the devil comes to steal your country, if you still have a country. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we can donate to the Clarion Arts. All right, good. Thank you, man.
You?
All right, thank you. Thank you.
And these contributions are for you as well.
For you guys.
One more hand for Alejandro, please.
Bravo,
Okay, continuing on, we've got Nina, Alice, and then I gotta grab the sign-in sheet to see who else is on there. But Nina is up next, and the sign-in sheet is somewhere. Thank you. Right.
Hello. March 31st is Transgender Day of Visibility. There was a rally on March 1st, and there was a call for poetry by trans people. And so I wrote this. And then I sent it to them, the rally people, they rejected it. So I want to read it for you. It's called Trans Power and Unity. Trans Power is a wooden bucket of organic blueberries and your smile. Trans Power is your fat ass and a skinny bicycle. Trans Power is your going to jail for free Palestine. Trans Power is your not knowing about Banco Brown. Trans Power is never knowing about Banco Brown. Trans Power is your calling your sister to tell her to shut the fuck up about Banco Brown. Trans Power is making sure nobody's talking about Banco Brown around D.A. Jenkins. Trans Power is being chummy with Mayor London Breed. Trans Power is promoting Sephora brand at Turk and Taylor. Trans Power is being chummy with the cops. Trans Power is telling trans people to contact your executive assistant to be ghosted. Trans Power is posting to Instagram never about Palestine. Trans Power is being respectful and attending donor-sanctioned events. Trans Power is making sure you never lose anything again. Trans Power is a hot, unbridled zest for success. Trans Power is being a tree, sharing your shade, platform, and hands. Trans Power is responding to your LinkedIn messages. Trans Power is making friends with me. Trans Power is being happy. Trans Power is crying mornings and anytime the sky is all you see. Trans Power is cooking my dying veggies. Trans Power is thick black glasses and food insecurity.
Trans Power is making cappuccino for Castro's unhoused queers and getting fired for it. Trans Power is Free Palestine. Trans Power is screaming Free Palestine. Trans Power is being disinvited for that watermelon pin on your heart. Trans Power is staying alive until the country stops funding the genocide. Trans Power is my wanting for you to stay alive. Trans Power is suing Obama for jailing our people. Trans Power is suing Trump for moving our sisters to men's quarters. Trans Power is fuck DNC. Trans Power is being banned by Lex dating app thrice for being anti-genocide. Trans Power is peeing on your neighbor for hummus and Topo Chico water. Trans Power is being ghosted by the said neighbor. Trans Power is seeing your neighbor here. Trans Power is never acknowledging the hot, annoying DSA trans girl. Trans Power is paying your brother's rent. Trans Power is spending time with me. Trans Power is this poetry, this morning, this evening. Trans Power is being hot, even if you're dying. Trans Power is being your mother every Mother's Day. Thank you.
All right, Alice is up next, and then Adrian and EK. Oh, sure.
This is called Bluebird. Bluebird, who are you to come each year to rest on a branch and then disappear? Are you a love that once was gone but wants to stay in my heart? Oh, bluebird, each May you fly to sing to me on your way. Why do you stop and then be gone like a boy I knew so long ago? And this is called the Hunters Point Cafeteria Workers. Seems timeless out there. 1946 in the past. The view from Hunters Point faces the bay from the south, looking across the water. The cafeteria workers were in Local 48, 15 African American women behind the steaming foods. In 1946, the shipyard workers went to lunch far from the rest of the city, an outpost like an island, far from Fisherman's Wharf and Union Square, belonging to the Union. And this is called Irish Hill. The smallest hill in the city with a name, or now not quite a hill, named Irish Hill, once 250 feet high, now barely 50 feet. A little Irish neighborhood when it was a real hill, back behind Dog Patch. The steel and iron works, now a looming phantom skeleton, ate up little bits of Irish Hill.
until the 60 homes and the wooden staircase to the top disappeared. But some of the Irish hills still lingers, a lump of earth that no one completely took away, weeping in the rain, but defiant in the sun, holding its ground.
I know where Irish Hill is.
Bok choy. Bok choy, I have questions for you. How do I eat you with the spindly light green legs and round bulb in the middle, appearing on my wind garden's plate of vegetables, always too long to carefully pick up with a pair of chopsticks? Compared to celery, tasting sweeter than celery, I don't know how to properly eat it. With the bok choy dangles longer on a fork than the chopped up carrots. It stands on Chinatown streets with crowded shoppers on sidewalks taking you home with other vegetables, herbs, and spices, unusual to me but completely familiar to those walking by. I've never possessed a group of bok choy. How do I carry it, the large leaves poking out of the paper, so much more extravagant than celery? Could I plant bok choy in my own garden, mingling with lettuce and peas? Does it grow in large fields in the Central Valley that must travel in trucks to unload in San Francisco? Or do you come from behind a lady's house in San Jose? How does one cook you? Will I boil or saute, fry with garlic? A row of woks looks out at me with round eyes. My mother didn't cook you. Chopping celery into chicken and egg salads. An elder Chinese man on the street plays an instrument that in his long legs and round belly looks like a bok choy. Bok choy, you spring from my bag waving your frilly top leaves. I walk between worlds, cutting through Kerouac Alley with poems in round circles in both Chinese and English. Two short ones. Redwood Highway. The last turn in the road before the redwoods begin. The change in the light like quilt squares throughout the twilight. 300 years ago, a native child would have seen a giant redwood for the first time. At home in the city, I see some in a grove or in the nearby woods. Now there are many along the highway, peaceful giants exhibiting both worry and calm, like a grandparent, then turn into the coast. My eyes look up to see the skies blue, birds above, in the space where the treetops reigned. And I wrote that because when Trump started doing all these things, I guess I needed something that was nice. This is called Destinations. It was a long ride to Brooklyn where Grandma used to live. I daydreamed in the back of the car when I was a child, passing over bridges and throughways where imaginary friends spoke to me and ran alongside the car. Dad driving me back to where he was born, all before Grandma moved to the Bronx in a high-rise, not like the brownstone with the flower pots. An artist friend lives in Brooklyn where the book fair is, where people like me say my grandma lived there and Dad grew up. And for some, it is trendy and cool, but for me, it is a memory.
Thank you, Alice. Adrian is up next, and then EK. Oh.
Hi. So I'm going to share a that's not yet finished. So they say that life is a trip to find out who you are, your purpose in here. So I'm going to share with you what I've written so far.
Life is a what?
Life is a trip.
Oh, okay.
My hero's journey. I leave Mother's Garden of Eden to face death alone. It's my father's world, but he's not home. I gaze into the outside world, believing I'm the name they gave me. The world splits into two, body and spirit, earth and sky, land and the universe, forever apart. I seek who I am in the conflicts of the outside. But the clear light, the pure curiosity of in my eyes, an infant's knowing, become elusive fantasies and foggy fears. In my father's world, I face death alone. Mother's calling me. She's in danger at home. So I rush back to save her from the spider and the world. Father's head has already been bitten off, but he tells me to give it a whirl. So I put on his armor. Mulan is going to fight his war. I joined the army as a boy, killed 100 enemies and wounded 4. My stranger father in the army taught me the cruel rules of the jungle. I gifted my heart to my head and won his war. But I hide my medal and the scars. It's an unfair trade. The casualty is my soul. I return home as a girl. To attend a party, I wear the skirt. The warrior's battle combat skills have no use on the dance floor. So I offered them my heart. But I scared off every boy I adore. It turns out only glitter, laces, and the high heels would win the fight. So I put back my shield and leave the room. In the starlight ballroom, they fight a different war. So I immerse myself in poetry, philosophy, theology, and mystery. I drink wine, smoke cigarettes, talking to others about immortality, meaning of life, and tell them to stay true to their core. I play the scholar, sage, healer, the lover, entrepreneur, victim, the drunk, and the whore. I am God, demon, the magician, and the fool. 2 feet above the ground, I escape the rules. I wear 1,000 masks, a poet with 1,000 faces. I live in a place where science and language can't reach. All life's theories are clear in abstract. A mother spider chases me down, drags me back deep in her cave. It's dark and warm here, she says, wrapping me tight on her web. I am forever her prey. Please let me go, I cry. Stay, she soothes. so they can't hurt you anymore. I bring her everything she could need. Insects, fruit, even a psychologist. She shakes her head. No, she says, stay. You are my only salvation, and you should know. One day, I escaped the cave. You can't betray me, she cries. We are one. Her voice loud in my head. I can't tell which one is hers, which is mine. Her gaze follows the mountains and the rivers I traveled. My body bonded in her viscous silk, sticky and unbreakable. All her sorrows are now mine to carry. But I abandon her in her cave. I sink beneath an invisible web of guilt, unsavable. To find the lost little girl, I set out on a quest. In the forest, a fairy found me, beautifully selfish, beautifully selfless. She leads me past the gate to a meadow where nymphs and magical beings dance by the lake. They wear tall leather boots, laced corsets, and tight latex. Metal chains hanging from their bodies, clanging with every step. Their laughter, clean, pure, untouched. They took me by my hands, my arms, and my throat, tied me to the cross beneath the sun. Their smiles are soft, whips are sharp. Each lash split my skin, and out bled my ancestors' blood, dark and unburied. The wounds gaped open. Sunlight poured in. I closed my eyes, remembered the dog I once loved, waiting for me to return to die. I could just die there too. I wake up the next day. The choir of morning birds singing the music of heaven, so clear, almost tangible. The sun hits a tree, circling orange lights. I traveled 1,000 lifetimes to return to the foothills. A mountain hermit welcomes me to his fire and his animals. His name I don't know. His beard, 100 years old. In the evening, we gather redwood branches, feed the fire, tell stories, and drink soup. In the candid gaze of the wolf, hurried steps of the forest spider, and the crackling sound of the fire, I see my soul. Time, trees, my pain, your skin, everything is whole. A humble apprentice, I fiercely tend to my childhood dreams and watch the galaxy grow. I know that's where I want to go. Thank
you. Names up, Alan, Garrett, Cesar, and JJ.
Sure.
Please, if
Sweet.
you can.
So,
All right.
I want to invite everyone to City Hall on April 11th for the 20th annual Palms Under the Dome. It's going to be from 5:30 to 8 p.m. inside the North Lake Court. Once again, we're finally back inside. And that's a celebration of Poetry Month that's coming up. And if you would like a souvenir bookmark, I have one right here, or you can just take a picture of it.
And what's the date again?
Friday, April the 11th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. All right. So, here's a little slice of my life as a teacher librarian. I wrote this yesterday with my students who write poetry. Take all your stuff with you. I tell the students in the library over the fire alarm going off in the middle of 7th period. To an English teacher in the slow egress down the crowded stairs, I say, I'm questioning my life choices. He laughed, but I was kind of serious. It's the 3rd fire alarm and evacuation this week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like a college class schedule. I overhear someone talking about staying inside, skipping the walk to the football field. It's a bad idea. I'm remembering that day in Houston, years ago, hot of course, when I was a teacher and we were evacuated for hours because an escaped convict ran inside our school. We stood in the playground for a really long time, 2 or 3 hours, and the little kindergarten and 1st grade kids got walked to the gas station to pee. They never found him. I always noticed the signs for tsunami evacuation routes, and I wonder if we could get out, get safe, or go under. Because there's getting out, then there's what's next. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you at City Hall on April 11th. Thanks, Claire.
Ellen's up next, and then Garrett, and Cesar, and JR. Or JJ Rush. Or JR Johnson.
I am a billboard, defined by the brand names emblazoned on the things that I own. Levi's, Ben Davis, Dickies, Vans, Bose, Panasonic, Epson, Braun, Brita, Carhartt, Converse, Schwinn, Motorola, Sony, Cuisinart, Black & Decker, Kenmore, Hyundai, Timbuktu, Casio, Timex, Conair, and Apple. And I love my things. Love them like they were my own children. I just wish that they weren't adorned with the heraldry of the companies that make them. Isn't it enough that I bought the damn things? They have my money. Why do I also have to be a walking advertisement for them? Why can't the origin of my things be left in question? A question that I can choose to answer in any way that I want to. That answer possibly taking the form of a slight fiction in which I take credit for the manufacture of my things. Yes, I made this denim jacket with my own 2 hands. Look at that stitching. Levi's couldn't have done a better job. And yes, I built this car from scratch. The whole thing cost me $30. It's amazing how much money you can save when you know what you're doing. Take that, Hyundai. And yes, this computer is of my own creation. Who needs Apple? Bite me, Apple. But brand names not only bedeck my things, they have been seared into my subconscious to the point where they are even buying ad space in my dreams. And I don't know who would even be selling ad space in my dreams, or what rate they would be charging, or where all that ad revenue is going. I certainly don't see it. All I know is that my sex dreams are being interrupted every few minutes by an ad for Trojans, America's #1 brand of condoms. An ad which is really wasted on me, since when I have a sex dream, I don't even use a condom in it because it's a dream. And maybe this is my psyche's way of telling me that I need to lay off consumerism for a while, become less of a purchaser of things, and maybe learn how to make my own clothes, and learn how to build my own car, and how to create my own computer. Anything to free myself from this brand name tyranny, this advertising ruling class, this capitalist octopus whose tentacles wrap around anything and everything that I encounter in my daily life, from whom even my dreams are not safe. And what would Freud say about that? And would Freud like to buy ad space in my subconscious? And should they cut him a deal or charge him the same rate as everyone else? Thank you.
Jared is up next, and then Cesar, and JJ, and Yinga.
The Tommy and Eric Pet Show. Trump Productions proudly presents the Tommy and Eric Pet Show, introducing our exalted modern-day overseer Tommy Holman and his faithful pet boy or dog Eric Adams. Bet you thought being mayor of our largest bird would save him from his designated place, did ya? Now, here's our announcer, Elon Muskrat. Thank you, dear peanuts. Only don't call me Rat, or is that Musk? Welcome, Massa Holman. Teach your pet boy new tricks. Just watch this, Elon. Speak, Eric, speak, or else. Woof, woof, woof. Good dog, Eric, good dog. Now do it like Annie's dog, Sandy, or else. Arf! Very good, Tommy, very good. That Eric's already proving quite the credit to what he and his kind are expected to be. Any more tricks? Sure do, Muskie. Jump, boy, jump, or else. Oh, Massa, how high? High as you can, boy, high as you can. Or else. Hey, look at them hop. You sure trained them good, Tommy. Aw, shucks, you I had a little help from our mutual friend and Guru D. Well, you know who. But I saved this trick for last. Watch me open this cage and Eric, here boy, catch a migrant, fetch a migrant, or else. Whoop, 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 And boy, do a real good job and you'll get a quarter dog biscuit. Well, folks, that's all we have this week. Tune in next time when the future prototype for expected pet boys says, gee, Master Tommy, might have less. For the muskrat, long for just plain rat. I wish they'd get that right. This has been the Eric and Tommy Show. What? I mean the Tommy and Eric Talk Show. This has been a Chunk production, and all due apology to our audience for having wasted your time.
Cesar is up next.
Right, Cesar. Swing back.
This poem's called La Abeja, and for those linguistically challenged, it's just La Abeja. We know the buzz of her flying, but once she lands and steals her wings, she makes other sounds, the sounds of her unpacking. The pants of La Abeja have several pockets. She unpacks her pockets at pachangas, parades, birthdays, weddings, cabalgatas. La Abeja makes her delivery of cultura, new dances, first recipes, original games, fresh jokes, bold accents, cool spellings. La Abeja arrives early and leaves late. She tastes every dish. She dances every song. Before she leaves the party, La Abeja refills her pockets. She stuffs them with cultura, poesía, canción. La Abeja
flies south to the Sokolos, north to the gazebos, east to the pagodas, west to the rodeos. To attract her, water your flowers, water your poesía, water your canción. Thanks so much.
JJ, you're up.
So what am I supposed to do here?
Something short. Short and sweet.
At first, I want to say it's such a wonderful thing just being here for some reason, okay? And as a result, I want to kiss the ground you walk on. I want you to know exactly where I'm coming from. Kicking boots with you was quite sensational. What paradise is like, you made clear to me. Lying here cheek to cheek was quite a thrill. Just phase 2 of our affair, killing me still. This thing we have, baby, is a monster and growing bigger. Thought about my mother and I had to comment. You're more than I expected. Satisfaction that I get. Mommy never told me about such happiness that dreams come true. This new lease on life, being with you. You really smoked me at that party looking toasty. Leaning over cute made me have to follow through. In that moment it came to me, a brilliant calculation to make you my girl with a blank check for accommodations. First I had to touch you to make my dream come true. Reaching for your hand, we started dancing, baby, and remember, that's when we clicked. It's still going on. And let me say this, no matter what the weather, snow, rain, or fall, you're the angel in my life, and heaven must have called your name. The way I'll ever be the same. Hey, we'll do Bola Bola for vacation, that's the spot. Spending prime time together always says a lot. Right now, again, I feel the flames. I have this notion, maybe soon you'll share my name. But before we rush the altar, I wanted to talk it over. You make me happier than any man could be, having taken me to heaven's gate, have shared with me your ecstasy. But before I make this mention, let me just say this. Our love is in the mix, only you can make it stick, have it last forever, come what may. But if you went away, I'd still love you within. So let us make love again. Thank you very much.
And Yinka.
Hello, everyone. No poet, I'm just a silly jokester. I work here, but I was inspired by all the brilliance and variety and poetry to come out on the stage and do a little something to leave you be on this beautiful day that you're gonna come out and you're gonna enjoy it. Well, okay, and also don't laugh at me too hard. I'm gonna tell you something. I'll ask you some questions, okay? When's a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. Alright. How does the moon cut its hair? Eclipse it. What did the plate say to the other plate? What? Dinner's on me. What kind of tree can fit in your hand? What? A palm tree.
anybody else who wants to read and hasn't had a chance? Well, anyway, thank you all so very much. Thank all the people who performed and all the people who just came to listen to the poetry. Thank our wonderful features of the afternoon, Sarah Menefee and Alejandro Murguía. And please come next month. Next month, April 19th, we will have Lisbeth Bailey, and we will have Antoinette Vela Payne. So please come out. Please have a wonderful rest of the month. Happy spring. Keep fighting back. And keep love and peace in your hearts. Spread it around the world. Thank the crew of Clarion.